Hello, everyone. It's Strategy Gaming Dojo. Happy Valentine's Day. I know that you guys just love strategy games, and those are your Valentines. And welcome to the stream today. We are going to jump back into the war in the Pacific along with Mr. Gary Grigsby, and we will be resolving turn 8 today. And as always, I have us centered here on Pearl Harbor. I did want to show you, I have set up even more of our destroyer net here. And let's just hit on the key 6, and you can see we have a lot of destroyers that are operating here around Pearl Harbor, making sure that we get rid of some of these Japanese subs that they haven't done any damage yet, but they've scared the bejesus out of me. That's damage enough. Let's take off our concentric circles there, and let's look at why we're really kind of concerned about those subs, other than the obvious. There's a lot of shipping coming in and out of Pearl Harbor, but the main reason is we have one carrier coming in here. This is the Saratoga, and the Saratoga is just absolutely loaded up with ships here. I sent out some more ships to bring it into port. Some may say I probably shouldn't have sent the cruisers out here because why? We're not worried about aircraft. It's really all about the destroyers, making sure a sub doesn't sneak in here and get a shot off on our carrier. David J. Russ, good day to you, sir. Thank you for stopping by, as always. So anyway, we've got the Saratoga coming in here. We still have the Lexington that needs to come back around here to Pearl Harbor. I believe, yes, this is the Lexington out here. It has now proceeded down south of Starbuck Island. It's about to make the turn north up to Pearl Harbor, up and around. We will then get a third carrier here at Pearl Harbor. We will be getting a bunch of destroyers down at the Panama Canal next turn. Hey, what's up, Stanley? Happy evening to you, sir, on that side of the pond. Happy Valentine's Day to you and your Valentine. That's why I'm wearing a hat today. I went out to dinner last night with my wife. You know, these old bones can't get out like that and get up early in the morning again. So, I've lost a step. Anyway, we also will be getting a new carrier. I want to say the Yorktown shows up in about 15 days. So we've got the Lexington, the Saratoga, and then here at Pearl, we've got the Enterprise. So we will have 4 American carriers here at Pearl Harbor. Then we can start to think about what we want to do with them. Hey, P. Warner, how you doing? The crew is here. Yeah, so we'll think about that, once we get the Yorktown into play. But this net, I really want to get rid of these subs. Now, these are just sightings. Of course, we're playing with Fog of War. These guys might already be gone by now. I also dealt a little bit with the fact that we have these destroyers that are congregating a little too much. It's because I have them on max reactive 3, so if they see something, they go flying to it, and they just kind of end up bunched too much. And as you can see, we've got the sub here that's all by itself with no destroyers around it, assuming it's still there. And I want to try to avoid that. So I've been dialing back the max react to 2. On some of them, I maybe even will go down to 1. I also, here at Pearl, offline, I set up some, what I'm calling support units, or support task forces, that I'm sending one of them to Palmyra here. So we have a mine layer destroyer, and we will be laying those mines at Palmyra. We also have a minesweeper destroyer that will go to Palmyra, and we have just a straight up minesweeper. So I put 2 or 3 of these together. I've got one going to Palmyra, I've got one going to Johnston Island, and I've got one going to Christmas Island. So I just had a bunch of these destroyers with other abilities sitting around, and then some basic mine layer or minesweepers. And so the 3 islands, major islands that are closest to Pearl, I'm sending each one of them a little packet in the mail of minesweeping, destroying, and we'll get some nets set up out there at those islands because the Japanese do like to float subs there just to see what's going on. Stanley says, I will lose more steps. Yes, I learned that every year, Stanley. I woke up this morning and my knee hurt, but I didn't know why. I'm not really sure. It just locked up on me. It happens, right? Yes, P-Order mines are a terrible thing to waste. I got it. And I love wordplay, so we're on it. Oh, one other thing I did want to point out here on the stream is that later on today, I will be starting something new. Well, I say starting it new. I did one yesterday, and that is, I'll always be playing War in the Pacific and War in the East at 10 a.m. in the morning. But yesterday I just was playing Surviving the Aftermath. I was messing around with it. As I've mentioned before, I do like survival games or building games. And so I will be at 3 o'clock Pacific Coast time quite often playing, just spotlighting a game, maybe a game that doesn't need a tutorial, like Surviving the Aftermath yesterday. I think I pretty much showed all of the basics of that game in 50 minutes just by playing it. And so I will be doing that with games generally at 3 o'clock p.m. Pacific time on the channel. Not every day, and I will get into a schedule of it maybe like 2 times a week. So yesterday it was Surviving the Aftermath. I think today at 3 o'clock I'll probably play Field of Glory Empires, which is a game I really, really like, and I keep going back to it. It's just a fun game, and I think it's very well done. I love Roman history, and I love grand strategy. Unfortunately, Imperator Rome was very disappointing. Let's hope it gets better. And so Field of Glory Empires, I feel like, is a really underrated game. So I will just be playing games and they'll kind of be a Let's Play tutorial. I'll be explaining things as I play the game. So anyway, I'll be doing that. People seem to like it. David says, I prefer In Zone over Surviving the Aftermath. Okay, I will check that out. I have not looked at In Zone, and maybe that's something that I will feature as well. I've always been a huge Banished fan ever since it came out, but I'm trying to branch out a little bit. I did that video the other day on, interesting games under $10 on the Steam sale. And if you've never played Planet Zomboid, please play that game sometime. It's really The Walking Dead on the computer in 2D. It's really something. It's a heck of a fun ride. But I like games like that. Graphics aren't the most important thing to me. I just like really, really good gameplay. All right. So anyway, back to the task at hand here. And I thought we would just kind of whip around the map a little bit here before we resolve the turn. One thing I did want to look at is this Calcutta to Rangoon highway. I say it's a highway. It's the highway to hell through the Bay of Bengal here. We've already lost 4 cargo ships out here. I just kind of want to see where we are. We've only got 8,000 supply into Rangoon at this moment. That is not going to cut it, folks. We do have this huge task force unloading a lot of supply. That's the first one that's gotten in there, and they got in here alive, so that's great. We've still got them at full speed. Okay, wonderful. Home port at Calcutta, they are fine. They haven't been hit by anything, so that's good. We have no ships at port at Rangoon. Okay. Now what do we have? What is this? This is that massive task force. Rangoon can't even handle all of these ships, and so it becomes kind of a traffic jam there at the port. These are all filled with supply as well. Now, I just said 8,000 is not enough. Well, we've got 38,000 coming here, and what's unloading? This had to be 20,000 or so, right? This is 23,400. So we will very, very shortly have a lot of supply at Rangoon. Let's hope. Let's hope that they get into the port, get it unloaded, and get back out. I would imagine now that we have gotten the first task force in here, we will very quickly see Japanese bombing hit us hard. Let's hope not, but I would suspect that's the case. Now, these are all those HTMLs that we got out of Rangoon. We're sending them to Chittagong. They are pretty much out of fuel at this point. They don't have much left. They're puttering along here to Chittagong, but it looks like maybe they've gotten out of here alive. We'll see. We have another cargo task force here. This one has got, these are pretty decent ships to be sending in here. They're 8-pointers. This is the maximum that I will send into Rangoon as 8-point ships, but we've got 4 of them. That could be a catastrophe if they all get blown out. But hopefully they'll get in as well. They're all doing supply. If we go back here to Rangoon, we're kind of fine on fuel, 33,000. Not that you need a lot of fuel there. It does have some industry that it can turn into supply, fuel into supply. Now, here is a transport. Now, this is the one I'm really worried about. This is Task Force 423. Look at all of these transports. We've got the 45th Indian, the 44th Indian brigades coming in here. You know, I'm not current. These are like, you know, 12-point ships. What's the Devonshire? 18-point ships. I'm not completely confident on getting this in here. Now we have another one coming in, another transport coming in. This has got the 48th Gurkha. Again, you know, we'll see what we can do. But when I was looking over this beforehand, I thought, do we have any long-range cap running over the 423? I would much rather run long-range cap over these 2 transport task forces than the cargo ones. And so we need to go look here and see exactly what we're doing. Now this, we've got general cap going on. We had to dial back the cap to 50 because we got like a 16. Stanley's saying, are we going to build up Mandalay? Well, we do have some AA back at Cape Town that needs to come in that will go up near Mandalay. One place is Mogwai, and then I think one of them is going to Mandalay. As far as building it up, I wouldn't go that far. Really, I try to hold Rangoon. Now, I've been told that now that breaks the AI, but I've never really noticed it breaking the AI. You know, the Japanese are going to come for it. If they don't get it, I get the idea. Then the AI doesn't really know what to do next. Does it, you know, what does it do? Well, historically, what did the Japanese really do? They kind of stopped there anyway. I mean, they went up into Burma, but question how much further any good Japanese player is really going to go. I mean, are they going to go all the way to Calcutta? Are they then going to what? Try to come down to Madras or get up into the heartland of India? Seems unlikely to me. So I don't know how it could really break it unless they're saying, well, it won't skip down to Port Blair and then south. But I've never noticed that not happening. So, I mean, I build up Rangoon. I do that when I play other human players, especially. But yeah, I mean, you know, this right here obviously is very important. I guess when you said Mandalay, I just don't do Mandalay specifically, but the whole Burma road, I try to make kind of a, you know, an iron fence as we talk about. So yeah, you know, I mean, I do try to build up this area as much as possible. We've got a lot more coming in here, and some of these units I will send north, if that was the kind of the genesis of the question. So these guys are running 50 cap. This is, you know, essentially 27 planes. We've got 4 of them damaged right now, part of the Flying Tigers. You know, 50 cap. When these transports come in, I would actually like it to be more, but I'm going to take one turn here and try to bump their fatigue down just a little bit. And then this group, we've also got running cap. It's another 26 planes. They're running 50 cap as well. Now, I've thought about bumping up the altitude. Now, these guys are at 23,000. These guys are at 15,000. They're fine. I'm thinking about bumping up the altitude in other planes that we have around the map. I've been following Cole. But as some people have said in the comments, they're doing a little more damage in the air war than I am, but they're also flying higher altitudes. And so here in the early game, this is always trial and error when it comes to altitudes. It's just, there's no answer to it. Essentially, you just have to kind of mess around with it, figure out what's working and what's not working. Now, these are the guys that we have running cap, long range cap, okay, over our task forces. And, I've got it running over that huge cargo task force, but now I kind of want to change that over and bring this out over these APs. Oh, it's out of range. Okay, well, that's the yeah, it'll be in range. Okay, so it is going to go ahead and target it, but it says it's at 8 and our normal radius is 7. Ooh, I'm glad I saw this. That's why it said that. Our maximum range was still set at 0. These Blenheims were running training before, I believe. Yeah, and so I just had not set the range. Okay, we should be good now. Let's click on this again just to make sure. It says target task force is currently out of range. Well, it's 8 hexes, is it not? Am I crazy? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, well, it will very quickly be in range. And so I'm going to go ahead and fly cap over that. These guys I have coming in full speed. I'm going to forego the cap over them. Am I though? Because this, well, I wanted to fly a long range cap over this other transport task force coming in. But maybe we'll have to wait till next turn. How far is this going to get? It's going to go here and then go another 1, 2, 3. It'll be about where this one is next time. All right, you guys, do not let me forget to run cap over that before we resolve the next turn. That's what I need you guys for. Okay, and now we've got this one. So we've got these guys over the 310 task force, which is this, big cargo task force that's coming in. Once we get them in, and hopefully, how far are these guys going to move? Oh, these guys are moving a little faster. They're clipping along. Yeah, we got a lot of fast ships here. 13 is what they're moving at, and so they're actually getting 1, 2, 3 and almost 3.5 per pulse. That's gonna, okay, so then another half, and then 1, 2, 3. It should be sitting about here. That's not a good place to be sitting. Let me tell you, when the turn ends, I say that hopefully, as let's hope the Japanese don't have something to say about that. Oh, that Starbucks is good today. What a waste of money to spend that much on coffee, but man, it tastes good sometimes. Okay, then what do we have back here at Calcutta? We've got 23 ships at port, and this is what I was looking at. Yeah, P. Warner, we should fly that cap instead of running it. Indeed, if those guys are out there walking on water, we've got bigger things to talk about. We've got a troop transport here with an AK. They could be taking. Oh, well, let's look at our LCUs first. This Eastern Command is always going to be at Calcutta. That's just going to sit here. AHQ India, the air headquarters, of course, is going to be here. We've got the 43rd Cav. Now that is attached to the Northern Command. No reason to change that now. If we did start to get attacked here, we would want to change this over, I think, to the Eastern Command. And then Eastern Command 254th. This is set for Calcutta. That's fine. Calcutta. Here's a Rangoon. So here's the 77th Heavy. It's got a pretty high load cost. We could try to get it in here. Let's see if this has got enough. It's got a big troop capacity on the Turia. The Fetterlock has a big cargo capacity. So we could try to take that AA down there. Those are two pretty damn valuable ships. Well, that's only a 12. I would have thought it would have been more than that. It's got a 15 speed and a good troop load. And this is only 8. Okay, Maybe we take that AA down to Rangoon with these guys then. But question, is this little amount of AA worth losing these two ships? Probably not, but you know what? Let's do it. So let's dock this up. Let's load that AA element. There it is. Select unit. We should have enough. Yeah. Let's verify this load and accept it. All right. And we will get this flying down here to Rangoon. And where do we want this to go? Let's try to get this down here at full speed. Can we do it? We can. We can get it there and back. So let's not refuel. We don't want it to mess around refueling. Speaking of which, let's go. Let's make sure. Let's see what our fuel situation is here. Full speed. We do not want this to refuel at Rangoon. All right. Same with this one. No refuel. And we've got plenty. We've got plenty of fuel. So no refuel there. You just don't want it to take the time and be sitting there because the Japanese will be bombing soon. Who knows when exactly it's going to start to happen. But we want to get them in there and get them out. And so, would they have time to refuel as they unload all of this stuff? Probably. But why, whoops, not auto disband, folks. Do not refuel. There we go. Okay, that looks all good. I've got this on mission speed. Let's get it going. Oh, we got just enough there. So that's going to come in full speed. Make sure this is at mission. Let's see if we can go. Yep, we got enough fuel there. Nice. Bringing them in. Bringing them in hot. Cruise speed, full speed. Okay. Glad that I came to this area of the map. I did not have this set up ideally, actually. Do not refuel, full speed. Okay, I think we've got that all ready to go. Stanley says maybe run that task force by Port Blair and wait. Well, that's actually a pretty good idea, Stanley, especially considering that we're going to have an absolute traffic jam here at the port. And so it may be advisable to send one of these down here to Port Blair just to kind of sit around. Now, and wait for the port to clear and then send it in. And so, you don't want this thing sitting where it doesn't have port capacity because the unload is so much slower. And the longer they sit there, the bigger the chance, that the Japanese are going to bomb us there. And so that's actually not a bad idea. All right, Stanley, tell you what, I'm going to listen to my Rear Admiral, and we are going to go to Port Blair, I think. Hold on. What's the fuel situation at Port Blair? It is non-existent. Shit. Well, they're unloading supply. They're unloading supply. I've got no fuel at Port Blair. We should really rectify that, and we can rectify that out of Ceylon and Colombo. Now, we've got 2 troop transports sitting here as well. What is this AKL? What's it doing? Okay, we've got 10 ships in port. Oh, we got this nice big AK here, the Mundra. That really should not be sitting around. Let's go ahead and make a cargo out of those 2 AKs that are sitting here. Do we want to send any air with it? Sure, why not? Let's send a light. Let's send a light cruiser with that. Oh, whoops. Why did I just do that? Okay, the Glasgow. We'll send that with it. Done. Let's dock it here. Let's get some fuel. This will give us, 5,000 or so fuel when we cut it in half. And let's run that down to Port Blair. All right, we will not refuel it. Let's look at this one more time. What kind of AA does the Glasgow give us? 220. That's not bad. Clarissa K sent a long message and got blocked. Okay, Clarissa, make it shorter. Yeah, I'm thinking this over. I don't, the Japanese do have the capability of reaching Port Blair. Now, they have not been doing it. I don't think we've been bombed at Port Blair at all. You know, I'm just kind of questioning, is this really that much safer? I don't know, but we're going to find out. I like Stanley's idea. We'll have it come down here and sit. We will have it remain on station and just sit there at Port Blair for now. Now, if we see, oh, we have the Dauntless with them too. The Dauntless has like no anti-aircraft for a light cruiser. 54. That's not good. Okay, but we'll be bringing this other light cruiser. We don't have anything going on with these light cruisers. The only thing I do worry about, but not really, the Japanese don't have any sub activity out here yet. So really, why not send, you know, a cruiser along too for even more AA? Let's do it. Why not? Let's send the we'll send the Exeter along. What kind of AA does the Exeter have? 288. All right, well, that should give us some pretty decent anti-aircraft cover coming into Port Blair. Now, we'll just have to remember, I do not really want them going all the way into Rangoon. Okay, Clarissa, sorry to hear that. I don't, you know, it's just the moderation tools on Twitch. But thanks for stopping by. All right, so let's see what else we have up here at Calcutta we want to do with it. Kind of went down a rabbit hole there. What's new? We have 23 ships here. A lot of these we need to get moving around. These little AKLs can all go into Rangoon. So let's do that. Let's get all of the ones here with 4,000. And we're going to just try to run continuous supply into Rangoon with them. Okay, we'll just sort by endurance here. Should we do it in two? Let's do two different task forces. Okay. Let's do cargo Rangoon. Let's dock. Let's load supply. Let's make sure they're not going to refuel when they get down there. Rangoon. I don't think these have enough endurance to go full speed all the way down there. They do not. It takes, you know, it's 20 to get down there. That's fine. These are 1-point ships, and so we're just going to set this up to continuous supply Rangoon, and we'll do the same with those other ones that we have there. Cargo. Why does it sort them that way? No, we don't want the ones in a task force. What in the world? Come on. Come on, man. There we go. Hermuth. There we go. All right. We'll do another cargo Rangoon. And these are really the, you know, these are really the ships you want to be sending into Rangoon. We'll eventually probably lose all of them at some point, but that's all right. At 1 point apiece, they should be able to get, you know, a lot of supply doing this as continuous. We'll dock, we'll load supply, and continuous supply. Okay, great. Now we have these better cargo ships, and really, I mean, I don't even know why they're really here. I would have to go look, and I honestly don't care that much, other than to say, hold on, what about these guys? These are 2-point ships. Let's get them running down into Rangoon as well. The Selma City and the Santa Ana, and maybe even the Nord. What is the Nord? That's 5 points. What else do we have here? So all of these ships really with the 11,000, I would kind of rather either have them at Cape Town or Abaddon. Maybe Colombo. I mean, they're not of use here. I'm not going to send them into Rangoon, and that's really the only reason for a ship to be at Calcutta. So I think I'm going to Okay, so we have the Nord here. I'll leave the Nord here for when we need to take like troops in or something, but the Santa Ana and the Selma City can definitely go down into Rangoon. Selma City, Santa Ana, okay. And we'll do another cargo Rangoon. I mean, you have so many cargo ships uh, over in this part of the world with very few places for them to go. I mean, India is all being supplied through Karachi. Um, we can't really get supply down into uh, Malaya. You know, we can't really be running things into Singapore, Palembang, places like, I mean, there just aren't that many important places to get supply into other than Rangoon. And then everything like, oh, by the way, I had someone correct me and say it's Surabaya. Surabaya, not Swarba. I've been saying Swarbaya. Earlier, I think I was saying Swarbaha, but it is Surabaya, I'm being told. Okay. Okay, before I forget, let's dock this. Let's load supply. Let's get down to Rangoon. All right. Let's do not refuel. Let's make sure we did that with the other one. Do not refuel. Let's set this up as continuous supply again. Okay. Great. All right, so we've taken care of a lot of those. Now, these 11,000, and I'm going to send all of these somewhere else. We could either send them to Abaddon or Cape Town. 11,000, that's not bad, really. I might send the Endura and the Nord with that. I'm going to keep the Nord here, actually. Didn't I just say that? Yeah. So we'll keep the Nord here. Let's do a cargo task force with all of these guys. The Floridian, the Santa Elisa, the Luckenbach, both Luckenbach. Who are these Luckenbachs? I've never heard of the Luckenbachs. Kalani, and should I keep the Indira here? No. It's too good of a ship to be here, to be honest with you. Done. I'm going to just call this a ghost cargo task force. I don't really know where they're going. Calcutta has a lot of fuel already down here. Okay. So what am I going to do with these guys? Where are they going to go? Let's have them go. Let's just see what the distance is here. These are 11,000 endurance. Alwyn is asking, we don't want the task force we sent to Port Blair to unload. You are correct, Alwyn. And that is why I always need your guys' help. I did put it on remain on station, but I did not tell it to do not unload. Thank you, sir. I'd give you a medal if I had medals to pin on your chest. Oh, back up here with this. What did we find out with this cargo? They have a hard time. Oh, look, it's almost perfectly for the Indira anyway, that it can get to Cape Town and back, but we're not taking it to Cape Town and back. We're actually just going to have it be at Cape Town. I may even split these. All right, we'll have this one go to Cape Town. Let's make sure it's not taking kind of a weird route. That's far enough out here. Okay. Now we've got, why don't we take like 3 of these actually? Let's form a new one and we'll send 3 of them up to Abaddon. I feel bad not sending any to Abaddon. So we'll take the Floridian, the Santa Elisa, and the Coquina. I'm just, you know, who knows, who cares, which 3 we send there. And let's send them to Abaddon. So we'll just call it cargo. And they can start running supply down into Karachi. Okay, we weren't using them for anything else, so might as well. Alwyn Rail, you are correct. This is a great game. War in the Pacific. It's just, you know, to me, there's nothing even close. You just don't get a game with this level of detail on a day-by-day basis to fight the entire war in the Pacific and actually really have control over every single thing. you know, to some extent, you have control over every single gun, but through the production tabs. Although I don't pay as much attention to those as some people do. I did open up reinforcements to our Filipino friends and our Filipino army. I will be doing that with some others like New Zealand. The Kiwis do not have a problem generating enough rifle squads and stuff, and so we might as well, you know, buff up all of theirs because they will start taking some attacks at different places along our kind of iron wall. Um, who else? You know, the Australians to some extent, even the US cranks out obviously enough rifle squads and whatnot. So I may eventually kind of open that up. We'll go look at the production screen in an upcoming turn here. Um, okay, I think for this turn, we're about 40 minutes in. We better go ahead and resolve here so we can see what happens. And then I will want to go look at those destroyers that we're going to get next turn. So before we do it, we'll just look really quick what's going to be coming up. Yes. Excellent. Okay, so we will be getting all of these destroyers with uh, radar. That's fantastic. Next turn, and then after that, we get some more AKs, some at Cape Town, some at Cristobal. We get a tanker at Abaddon coming up, and another one at Abaddon. That's always good news. The more tankers we can get, the better. A lot of them showing up at Abaddon. That's excellent. And yeah, just a lot of cargo ships over the next 10 days. But really, I'm excited to get these destroyers. I do have some ships waiting at LA for those destroyers to get up there, and then we'll ferry those ships out to Pearl Harbor. So that's exciting. What kind of, let's see what we get aircraft-wise here. Aircraft replacement, no. Withdrawal group reinforcement schedule. Let's see what we get coming in. All right, we get some Bolos in at Pearl the next turn, and then we get some Bolingbrookes. The ones to be really excited about here for the replacements, I believe, yeah, we get these Banshees at Brisbane, which is very helpful because Australia just does not have any air craft to speak of, really, especially fighters. And so we're going to be getting these Banshees down there. There's another one. I think we get more. Yeah, let's see. We get these Warhawks. I'm pretty sure these can they be bought out? Yes. These are in the 2 US Fighter Command. The 2 US Fighter Command right now is headed towards Nomaya. So when we get these Warhawks, we are going to rail them to LA or San Francisco, probably LA, and get them on transports immediately and get them out to Nomaya. Then we have these Warhawks in another month or so that show up at Brisbane. And like I said, those are much needed. You just don't have any aircraft out in the Pacific, really, at this point. As you can see, the Yorktown is showing up in 15 days. That'll be fun. These Banshees, that'll be a lot of fun. Okay, so that is aircraft. What ground units may be showing up soon? Let's see. Reinforcement schedule. Days until arrival. I guess I already had those sorted. Okay, 164th Infantry. That does us no good. They're attached to the West Coast. All right. We get these static. We'll talk about these convoy units at some point. It's something I haven't really talked about or covered yet. So we will talk about that at some point. Wow, we get a new infantry division at Manila. That's kind of a talk about being thrown into the fire. In 4 days is about when the Japanese will be hitting Manila or getting close to it, so that'll be interesting. We get a port services base, some engineers out at Christmas Island. That's great. Then we have some units that are attached in 6 days to the West Coast. We get a tank battalion in San Francisco in a few days. The big one coming up is here at Fort Ord, a 390 assault value for the 35th Infantry. Unfortunately, we would have to buy them out, and with a 390 assault value, you know, I don't know. I think that costs like 700 or 800 points to buy out, but we will eventually do that. And then we got some things that'll go out to the southwest. Oh, this is nice. They show up at Sydney, so some more Koi units here. All right. Well, anyway, with all of that said, let's resolve the turn. I could sit here and talk to you guys about this game forever. P. Warner says if you can get one of those Banshee squadrons into the Dutch East Indies, you can raise all kinds of hell. Send one to Ballypoppin. All right, I will take that under advisement, sir. That does sound like a great idea, and that is generally what I do with them, is get them into the D. I think I leave one behind maybe at Darwin or one in Australia, and then I take the other two squadrons and get them out there trying to take down as much Japanese surface vessels as I can. But with all of that said, let's save this. And wow, there is a lot that has happened this turn. Over this week, just talking about this turn, holy smokes. But we are getting to the point at some point here in the next 5 or 6 turns where I will be kind of moving away from the spreadsheet, and we'll just go to each place, and I'll show you kind of my method for doing that as the game gets moving further along. But let's resolve this turn and see what happens. Execute. Or no, end the orders phase. Let's execute. Let's go. And let's see what happens. I really hope to take out those Japanese subs in and around Pearl this time. That's one thing I'll be looking at. I think the Japanese are going to start moving south towards Singapore this turn. They've been a little quiet in Malaya. I mean, they took what, a Kotobaru, but they really haven't moved out of there. They did attack our forces at Kotobaru, but they really haven't done much else. I don't know why every war game can't be WeGo. I mean, this is, you know, probably the greatest war game ever. And then you have the combat mission games, which are some of the best war games ever, that I really like playing that WeGo. Yeah, Stanley, we've got about 1,000 turns to go. 8 down, 1,000 to go. Yeah, you guys are going to see me, you know, grow old. And who knows what the world will be like by the time we get done with this game. It will move faster once we get through the first 20 turns or so, but still, it's going to be a long experience. Hey, somebody followed. Blinking Duck. Hello, Blinking Duck. Thanks for stopping by, my friend. We are just resolving turn 8 of the grand campaign of War in the Pacific. Oh yeah, we did talk about China earlier in the week, but I guess I didn't go over it here. Lots of interesting things happening in China. Well, there's just interesting things happening all over this map. I wonder if at some point someone will try to recreate this game. You know, Grigsby will never make a second one, he has said, although now they're making War in the East too. I just feel like they could make a mint if they did this game again. I mean, you know, I can't imagine how much code. Maybe Andy Mack will stop by again sometime and tell us, you know, the amount of code that went into this. It's probably more code than was written for the moon landings, I would imagine. It's a beautiful dark night over Pearl Harbor. They're unloading a lot of things here at Babel Doab, or Babel Doab. They seem to be using that as a real staging base. You see our destroyers now reacting. They've got a lot of reaction going on. Ah, look at that. What is going on? We had an AKL, the Corregidor, that just sank. But we seem to have a Japanese task force that's just kind of meandering through that strait. We'll have to go look at that. Ship crews performing damage control. Unfortunately, we have several ships where that needs to be done. Ooh, look at all that green in and around Pearl Harbor. We no longer see those Japanese subs, by the way, when it just showed that. You can see it now. Yeah, well, they're reacting to... Oh, there it is. Okay, it just popped up. Now, surely, with all these destroyers in the area... man, I don't know. It's like they sighted it, and now they've unsighted it. Yeah, Blinking Duck. It's very short and simple. You know, just one of those you pick up and play in an afternoon. I'm glad you've been stopping by the YouTube. Yep. I used to do all of these just on the tutorial side anyway and whatnot, not live streaming them. I just did them as YouTube videos. Now I guess they kind of become both because I live stream them and then they're, you know, uploaded on YouTube as well. So I had somebody in the comments of War in the East say, "Hey, I like these videos, but that big floating head is kind of distracting." So I guess it was someone that, you know, doesn't watch a lot of live streams or isn't on Twitch necessarily, or maybe he just doesn't like my head. I'm not sure. It is a big floating head. Well, we're sighting a lot of things. No surprise there. Look at all those Japanese task forces. Japanese ships near Legazpi. Ah, there are those subs. Airstrikes. Well, let's see how we do today. They're coming in at Kuching. No surprise there. They are hitting Kuala Lumpur. Oh, do I not have my combat reports up? Yeah, hold on. Oh, I always forget. Hold on. Let's get our combat summaries are on. There we go. Hey, here we go. Um, let's see. They brought in 7 Nates, 3 Sonias. They were trying to hit an allied ship, the AKL Paz. Looks like nothing much happened there. Sorry, I think I missed like 2 bombing runs. Yeah, Stanley, I try to keep my, this game anyway, well, because of the resolution, I can't even really get my head on the screen. Otherwise, I'd be right in the middle of the thick of the action. Um, but yeah, no, I think it does look better offset that way. You know, I'm over in the black and you can really see what's going on. Let's see. Lily 16's coming in at the 108th at Victoria Point here. Okay. Win Chao, they're trying to hit Win Chao with 12 Nates, 21 Lilies. No Japanese losses, but they also did no damage. Okay. I've turned the combat animations off. Hopefully you guys aren't too upset by that. Because I always click off of them anyway and go straight to the summaries, so what difference does it make? All right, afternoon air attack on the 63rd Chinese Corps here. They brought in 6 Sonias. No Japanese losses, no ground losses either. Now Kota Baru. Yeah, these are just sightings. All right, 27 Sally's coming in here at Tasserman. No, Tenasserim Battalion. This is at Tavoy, I believe, right up at Tavoy. They brought in 27 Sallies, 2 were damaged. Wow, that was a deep sighting, deep into China by the Japanese, by some Japanese air there. They're up here at like Huaying, Luoyang. All right, not a whole lot happened there. Not very many bombing runs. Now this is us air transporting things out or to where we want them. So this is air transport. And we're transporting supplies into Kunming. I think you could just see that. It kind of flashed by. Yeah, P. Warner, I'm not going to do the animations anymore. I think they're kind of cool to look at when you first start playing the game. But then after that, you just want to get straight to the summaries. You know, tell me what happened. Yeah, so not too many bombing runs by the Japanese today, at least in this phase. We'll see what happens a little later here. All right, these are all of our units from the Central Reserve marching down here. We need to get these down here as fast as possible. I'm very worried about the Japanese starting to move up here and, you know, get after us in the central part of the map there. Marching, marching, marching. We can probably go ahead and, okay, we're moving by some rail there. Oh, good, we've got them coming over here. That makes me feel better. Let's do the quick rail movement. We got a lot of things moving north in Australia. Northwest, where they need to be. Okay, ground combat. Excellent. This is just Japanese bombardment attack. It's near Kwasai. You know, not a whole lot of damage is going to be done with a bombardment attack, and none was done. Blinking Duck says he's still got his animations on. Yes, it can be fun to watch that counter click down when you have some fighters that are taking out bombers. That is indeed fun. Ground combat at Naga. All right, so this is the Japanese moving north up Luzon. They had 4,800 troops. We had 6,000 troops. We outgunned them 3-1. Unfortunately, they have 42 vehicles. Unfortunately, they have better troops than us. Once we got down to it, it was 174 to 29 on the adjusteds. Japanese assault odds 6-1, and they have captured Naga. They took 400 casualties doing it. We took, gosh darn, almost 3,000 casualties. Well, I would imagine our troops. Oh no. Guam has fallen. All right. That always kind of shocks you when that comes on. Um, let's see. They took 11 casualties taking Guam. Seems a little light. We took 339. So, not great. Well, it doesn't matter. You know, I mean, this was always going to fall, and those troops were always going to fall. Yes, the poor Marines on Guam. Left all alone out there, Stanley. P. Warner says that the graphics are like Carriers at War or Carrier Strike. Yes, indeed, Carrier at War. I used to love that game. My gosh. SSI and SSG, it was those companies that got me into war games. Absolutely love everything they ever did. If I had enough money, I would just start a new company that's like a mixture of SSI and SSG. I kind of think that's what Matrix, you know, games tries to be. You know, Slytherin, Matrix, same idea. Okay, so here at Hawaii, this is that Lusu war area. I talked about this on Friday. This command headquarters is just wandering around out here. It can never be destroyed, and it can never get out. It's like in an endless loop of hell. And so it got attacked again. Wake Island, they finally brought a little bit more to Wake. Can they take it? No, we're repelling them yet again. They are just bombarding here. trying to knock us down, but they still haven't taken wake. Ian Trout was the head guy at SSG, Stanley. That is absolutely right. Wow, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time, very long time. All right, we're expanding our fortifications, moving some oil and resources. It's been a very quiet turn. Here come all of our destroyers arriving at Balboa. Gosh, is that fantastic. Yeah. Great naval battles. I just talked about those, Rule. I just talked about that game. When I did that new War at Sea game that's out, those developers talk about great naval battles, Guadalcanal, quite a bit. And, you know, they say that that was one of the real inspirations for that game. Now, that game is not as deep, I don't think, as the great naval battles. It's, you know, right now that War on the Sea looks good. It looks really good. It's still a little too arcadey, clicky for me. But hopefully they promise there's more coming, more content, and it will be more, or let's say this, a little less arcadey. Well, with that, that ends the turn. And I mean, just not a whole lot happened this time. We spotted some more subs out here, but luckily our carrier got in. Hey, we got another follow. Castanar, thank you, sir. Thanks for dropping by. Thanks for following. Yeah, I agree, P. Warner. That game does need some work. You know, it looks so good. I really want it to work. I want it to be good, but they need, I don't know what they need really. Just the way the game is set up kind of lends itself to being a little arcadey. And I guess in some respects, naval battles do in general, because it's very hard to duplicate the actual physics of a naval battle. And so it's kind of like, well, I'm going to click all my ships to come over here, then we're going to fire, and then we're going to run. You know, I mean, it doesn't really work that way in the real world. So, you know, other people have done it okay. Castanar came over from the YouTube tutorial series. Thank you, sir. Yes, I had a ton of fun making the tutorial series for this game. It's the whole reason I started my channel, is I couldn't find a good tutorial for this game. And when I started playing this several years ago, you know, I had to just read through hundreds of threads on the forums to figure things out. So, you know, I tried to do the best I could and at least hit all of the basics. And now with this Let's Play, we talk about, you know, more advanced things as we go through. So welcome. Thank you for stopping by. Yes, Stanley, SSG. Well, SSG just had so many great games. My gosh, honestly, it gives me like a little warm feeling inside to think about the old boxes and think about SSG or SSI, because when I would go and buy those games, when you still had to do such things physically, the level of excitement to see one of those games and just to see the logo, it still gives me a good feeling, you know. All right, let's go up here really fast. Let's look at the intelligence report and see what happened. Not a whole lot, really. We flew out 31, almost 3,200 sorties. The Japanese flew out 1935. Okay, we took 7 air-to-air losses. The Japanese took 4. Nothing was destroyed on the field. That always makes me happy. We did destroy 1 Japanese plane by flak. They took 3 operational losses. We only took 1. That's good. Our political points are building up nicely. I did buy out some things offline during the setup of this turn, but again, they were 1st Australian Corps going to Port Moresby. As a matter of fact, I don't think we didn't talk about this, but I did set up this transport task force with the cruiser Louisville for some AA, the Hugh L. Scott, the President Coolidge, the Mobile City. They are putting the 4th Australian and the 25th Armored on here and going to Moresby. But I bought both of these out into the 1st Australian core, I believe. It's not that. Let's see, this is strategic move. It's now here. Well, I'll do all this next time. I really just wanted to show you guys. It's these guys, okay? So this is the 2/5. I bought them out into the 1st Australian. I think it was like 30 points. It wasn't much. Yes, P. Warner, listing off some of the great games of my youth from SSI. Wow, what talent that they had at SSI developing at that time. Those guys have all scattered around and made other great games. But wow, what a crew to get all that back together again. You're going to get me misty-eyed. The other thing I bought out here into the 1st Australian was this 4th Australian light AA regiment. They are also going to Moresby. And so just seeing the political points reminded me that I did buy those 2 out, but I did not show that during the live. You know, hey, this still looks fine. We didn't lose any ships this time as far as I know. Unless we missed that somehow. Well, maybe I did miss it. Oh, shoot. Before I got the combat summaries on, we did take out a Japanese sub. I missed the most important part of the whole damn... well, you know, it happens. You guys get it. You've seen a Japanese sub be sunk before. Just imagine it in your mind. We did lose this Corregidor, and I do want to go up and see what in the world is going on here, because I saw this Japanese task force. It was like right in here, but I don't see. There was definitely red that popped up here when they showed us the Corregidor went down. So I'm gonna have to look through the summaries and just figure out what in the world that was all about. What did we lose? We lost Naga this time. This is Naga. A very disappointing result there. We actually had more men. Not that that always matters, of course. The Japanese have better men, especially better than your Filipino forces here. But they did take Naga as they slowly move up here. They were not very active at the northern part of the island. Maybe they're kind of building strength before they come into Lingayen and then on to Clark Field. Okay, you know, we'll come back and look at that this week, what's happening there. I'm very surprised how quiet they've been in Malaya. Now they are starting, you know, they're kind of on the move here, but they have definitely allowed us to get all of the troops out that we wanted to. We do have some suicide, you know, units here, like this 316th Punjab that we sent up to Allure Star. They're dead, you know, that's unfortunate. I don't mean to be so flip about it, but that unit's just gone, or will be shortly. We also have the 3rd here. We're keeping them here at Taiping with all of 16 assault value. I mean, they're just not going to be doing much. We should think about turning on Malayan reinforcements, though, soon. So maybe on Monday, or I say Monday, that's tomorrow, right? Actually, I have the day off tomorrow. It's President's Day in the United States, celebrating Washington and Lincoln's birthdays. So yeah, we'll stream. Maybe we'll stream a little longer tomorrow. It's a holiday for me anyway. Maybe we'll take a little longer, and I'll just, you know, I'll prattle on for 2 hours or something. But anyway, we have resolved turn 8. We are now on December 16th, 1941, as we claw our way towards Christmas time and then on to 1942. Oh, let's go check out our shiny new toys down here at Balboa. Our new destroyers have arrived. Yes. Yes. These are the Sims class. This is a DD Sims. The Sims class, they have a 4 here. And we have the radar. Radar is here. What an exciting development. I think these are all Sims class, okay? Is that true? Yep, it looks like it. All right, well, we'll get into all of that tomorrow. Please feel free to join me at 10 a.m. Pacific time. I couldn't stop you if I wanted to. Well, I guess I could ban you from the channel if you get crazy, Stanley. But, you know, I know usually you've held it down to 2 or 3 beers by the time I start at 10 o'clock Pacific, so you're not going to get too wild. But we'll pick this up tomorrow. Now, don't forget, at around 3 o'clock, probably tomorrow. I was going to maybe do it today, and maybe I will do it later today, but it is Valentine's Day, and my wife may have other plans for me. Hey, hey. Anyway, I think she wants to get out and about. It's sunny here in Southern California. But just a reminder, I will be doing kind of a game spotlight um, in the afternoons here in the future. Sometime, usually on Sundays is when I think I'll do them, maybe Sundays and Wednesdays or something like that. So either today or tomorrow, or maybe both, I may be on the channel playing Field of Glory Empires, which I think is a fantastic game. And if you like that when I play a game like that, please give me a like, a comment, a follow, whatever, and let me know that you enjoyed it. And I'll play it a little more on the channel. But I'm just going to kind of reserve those times for playing games I like. One game I'm playing right now that is nothing like what we have on the channel, but I'm really enjoying is Planet Zoo. I'm building my own zoo. So who knows if I'll ever play that on the channel, but I'm just going to kind of jump around and play whatever I'm enjoying. I will try to keep kind of the grand strategy war game outlook, but you never know. You never know. We may play some Planet Zomboid one day, or who knows. But Field of Glory Empires will be first. I have put in over 1,000 hours in Field of Glory Empires. No joke. That's how good I think that game is. I love the trading system in it. So anyway, I've gone on long enough. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I always do appreciate it. I hope you had a good time. I certainly did. Strategy Gaming Dojo